Cool. Well, thanks for joining today, everyone. I've got you all muted. So as always, if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself or type into the chat box and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Just wanted to thank you for coming to the fourth and final, at least for now, DM strength training session. A big shout out to the Myotonic Dystrophy Foundation that sponsored this whole series of 4. They have made this possible and have allowed us to gather and work out together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Just gonna mute everyone one more time. Great. Hi, Victoria, welcome. Let's see, only equipment that you're going to need today is a set of weights. I've got my handy dandy soup cans here. I keep it light because I do many of these classes a week. If you have a heavier and a lighter set of weights, feel free to grab that and I'll let you know which exercises you'll be using the heavier and the lighter pair for. And then just as a few, as always, the things that I say in the beginning of this class. Just a reminder that we're assuming if you're taking this class, you have checked in with some kind of a medical or healthcare professional. I encourage folks to really, really move at your own pace. So nobody knows your body better than you. If you start to feel pain, burning, tingling, new sensations that don't feel right, take a break, slow down, catch your breath, have some water, and remember to take care of yourself. I care more about your alignment and how you're doing certain movements than I do, say, how fast you're going or how much weight you're lifting. So just being really mindful to listen to your body and move at your own pace. The nice thing about this kind of a class and the way I have it set up for those that are maybe just joining us for the first time, is that because I do it based on time, you get to choose how slow or how fast you move. So this class can be the easiest class you've ever taken, or it can be the hardest class you've ever taken. You are totally in control. So just making sure that you're checking in and listening to your body. We always start these classes with some kind of a warm-up, a body check-in, a body scan of some sort, because it's always really good to get an initial read on your body and how you're feeling and compare that to the end of class and moving forward. The more information our brain has about what our body is doing and how our body is feeling, the more effective our movement becomes and the more efficient and hopefully pain-free our movement becomes if there is pain somewhere in your movement. So that's why we do like a very thorough warm-up before we jump into the circuit that we'll get going. I've pasted into the chat the warm-up. I'm going to do it sorry, not the warm-up, the circuit. I'm going to do it one more time before we get going and as I'm talking through this, because I know that my hand, I had a family member tell me that my handwriting looks like a third grader. So I know that it sometimes is easier to see in the chat. So it's in the chat if you need it to be. Okay, I think that is everything. So I'll have you come back to a grounded, seated, or standing position of some sort. All right, letting yourself get centered in. We'll close the eyes. And we'll just start by coming to your breath. These past few classes, we've been working on trying to calm your breath and your nervous system before we get moving. So I'm going to have you put one hand on your low belly and one hand on your low back. And I want you to think about breathing down into those two hands. So with your inhale, we feel your low belly kind of gently press away, and with your exhale, it drifts back in. Letting your belly take that full breath, really trying to surpass your neck, surpass your chest, and just direct that inhale and exhale into your lower belly. This is what we call your diaphragmatic breathing. It's a good way to calm the nervous system, reset the body. And as you're slowing your breath down and breathing in between and into your hands, I just want you to notice the weight of your body on the floor or on your chair. So maybe you feel your feet on the floor. Maybe you feel all 10 toes. Maybe you can sense your sit bones on your chair, or you can feel your back against the back of your chair. Whatever it is, just let the weight of your body be held by the chair or the ground. And notice what parts of your body feel really good today. What parts of your body feel loose and easy to move and pain-free and mobile. And then what parts of your body don't feel so good today? Maybe those parts feel a little tight or a little stiff. I want you to set your intention for class today. That can be as specific or as general as you'd like. My intention is going to be to feel my feet on the floor as I move today. All right, we'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. We'll reach both arms up towards the sky or as high as you can. We can bring the hands together, and then you're going to take a nice dive forward, down towards the ground, as low as you can go. Pause at the bottom. Breathe into the back of your ribs. And then slowly pull yourself back up. You're going to slide the hands behind the head. If that's hard for your shoulders, we can also cross the arms over the chest. And you're going to lift your chest up towards the sky as you look up towards the sky. That's it, getting a nice chest opener there. Slide the hands up towards the ceiling and exhale to dive forward. And if you're standing, you're just doing the same movement from a standing position. Take an inhale into the backs of your ribs and an exhale to roll yourself back up. Hands come behind the head. Lift your head, your chest up towards the sky. Good. Let's do one more of those. Arms go up. You roll down. Pause at the bottom. Breathe into the back of the ribs. And on your next exhale, slowly roll yourself back up. Hands come behind your head. Everything lifts up towards the sky. Okay, you're going to keep your hands around that area. Go ahead and grab your earlobes. Give a gentle pull with your earlobes down and back behind you. We're just opening up some tissue in this area. This is an area that can often get stuck on us. I want you to take the tops of your ears and pull up and back. Just gentle. This is really gentle here. Yep. And then you're going to take your fingernails or your knuckles, whatever you have access to, and you're going to give your head a really amazing head scratch all the way around your hairline, over the top of your head. Use whatever kind of a stimulation here with your fingertips or your fingernails feels good for you. I like to really give my head a scratch, but maybe yours is more of a rub. Maybe it's more gentle. Okay. Hands are going to come behind the neck, so on the back of the neck. Yeah, you can use your knuckles too. I'm going to look down at my belly button. We were working on these last week. And as I traction my hands and my fingers down my neck, my head looks up towards the ceiling. I end with my fingertips at the very bottom of my collarbones. Good. And again, grab the back of your neck, look down. As you drag the hands down, look up. Couple more times. Hands on the back, look down. As you drag the hands down, look up. This can be a really tense area for a lot of us. So this is always a good one. Last one, hands behind, looking down. and then looking up. Awesome. We're going to take your knuckles, just soft knuckles here, right under your cheekbones. Let your jaw go slack. Okay, so let your jaw hang. And I just want you to glide your knuckles along that soft tissue, kind of on the outside of your jaw, going from the tops of your cheekbones all the way down to the bottom of your jaw. You'll feel where there's some tissue to dig into. You might sense that one side is a little bit more restricted than the other side. And let that jaw really go. Let that jaw really hang as you do that one. Whenever we're doing this kind of work that stimulates the head and the neck, we're working with the cranial nerves, which is the nerves in our brain that help control a lot of the different parts of our nervous system. But most importantly, they help calm our nervous system and they prepare us for movement. So that's why we do this work in the beginning. Okay, good. Go and release that. Give the arms and the legs a shake if you're standing. Okay, really nice. So we're going to slide the hands behind the head again. Go ahead and take a side bend to the left and then a side bend to the right. Side bend left. Just a reminder as you're doing these side bends back and forth that you're not necessarily collapsing. So everything below my belly button stays really engaged and upright and stable. I'm really just side bending from the middle part of my torso. Yeah, so making sure that you're still working through this whole range here. Let's bring that into a full circle. So you're going to side bend left. You're going to round through the center and back through the other side, looking up at the ceiling. That's it. Exhale to round down. Inhale to lift up. Just do one more in this direction. Exhale down. Inhale up. Go ahead and switch directions. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. I think this is the last one. Exhale down. And then inhale up. Great. Arms are going to come out at your side. Yeah. Let's bring right hand to the left hip. We're just bringing some cross body touch. I want you to rotate and reach behind you as far as you can. Eyes stay on your thumb. And then back to the center, arms into a T. Left hand to right hip, rotate. And arms to a T. Good. Can we inhale to rotate? And exhale to the T. Inhale to rotate. And exhale to T. That's it. Can we go a little bit quicker? Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, keep your arms out here. Face the palms forward. If you're standing, you're just going to do this from a standing position. I'm going to have everybody hinge forward. If you need to have your hands on your hips to give you more, on your knees, to give you more support, you can do that too. And then pull yourself upright. Yeah. Can we inhale to hinge forward and exhale to come up? I want you to think about engaging all of those muscles in between the shoulder blades, going down the back. If you're standing, you're thinking of using your glutes and your hamstrings to pull you back up. So to push your hips forward. That might feel like squeezing the butt cheeks for you. It might feel like pushing your hips forward. And if you're seated, you're hopefully feeling those mid, lower, and upper back muscles working for you. Let's just do one more. Coming up to a seated position. Awesome. Give the arms and the legs another shake. Okay, we'll give the shoulders a little bit of a break here. We're going to bring fingertips to that area just under the collarbones. I'm going to scoot in towards the camera. And you're just finding that nice, gentle tapping sensation all the way under the collarbones here. I'm gonna have you add a hum. So it will look something like this. You can hum a song. You can hum a single note. Now go ahead and open your hands, more like you're a gorilla. Yeah, yeah, you can continue with that hum. You can make gorilla noises. Getting that whole area. Maybe you let your jaw go again. Awesome. Okay, seated or standing. We're gonna find a little swinging rotation here. Let your arms just swing with your body. I want your knuckles to tap the low back here. So we're waking up the kidneys. If you're standing, you can find that shift from one foot to the next. We'll start working our way through the joints here. But before we do, one more tapping. So hands are gonna come to the outside of the hips. You're gonna tap going down the outside of the hips and all the way down the legs to the feet if you can. And then tap coming up the inside of the legs. Standing or seated. I'm just gonna have you work through that 2 more times. If it feels better for this to be a rub instead of a tap, or maybe you're doing more of a grab or more of a knock or more of a karate chop, you can experiment with that. Which feels the best for you and your sensory perception and your skin and your muscles? What feels the best? Just do whatever feels the best for you. Remember, the point of this is to connect these parts of the body to the brain a little bit more. So we're going for the feel-good sensations. Okay, when you've done that a few times through, we'll come up to the center. Let's just find a few shoulder rolls to reset. Inhaling the shoulders up and exhaling the shoulders down. Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm going to be showing you just a different, we're going to move through some, let me move my camera up, so through some joint mobilization. So I'm going to be going back and forth for seated and standing. So for my standing athletes, I want you to find a toe lift and a heel raise. If you need something to hold on to, you can hold on to something. You can also do this in a seated position if you've got that capability. And for my other seated athletes, you're going to be doing this more from the wrist. So fingers up and spread if you're able to, fist down and point. Up, spread, fist down and point. Yeah, we've been working on this the past couple of weeks just to warm up the wrists and or the ankles and the feet. If you're standing and you feel like doing both, you can do both. Yep. Okay, I want you to keep going with that for my standing athletes with the feet. For my seated athletes, you're going to bring your hands out to the side, wrists are pulled up. Yep. You're going to answer the phone on both sides, fingers down, heel of the palm up, and then you're going to return to that starting position. We're doing a technique called nerve flossing here. So if anything feels burny or tingly, then go ahead and skip this. We're just going to do 2 more. Yeah, and if you're standing, you can still be doing the heel raises and whatnot. Good, and all the way down and relax. Give everything a little bit of a shake. Okay, for this next one, my seated athletes are going to be finding, let's see, I'm gonna switch this for you. So we're just gonna warm up the elbows, and I just want you to do this movement where almost like you're holding a big platter in front of you, and then you're reaching for something behind you, palms stay up. Hold the big platter in front, reach behind you, palms up. Platter in front, and notice when I'm doing this platter in front, I'm trying to keep my hands wider than my elbows. Good, so we're also working a little bit on the shoulders, okay? For my standing athletes, I want you to first start to find these knee circles. You're going to do maybe 5 or so in one direction, 5 or so in the other direction. And then I'm really going to challenge your coordination here. My seated athletes keep going with the platter and the reach behind. My standing athletes are going to bring their feet into, you're going to move to your left, moving the toes together so the feet stay parallel the whole time, and then the heels move together. Toes and heels, toes and heels. We're working on hip internal and hip external rotation here. Try to keep your hips pointing forward if you're doing the feet move, yeah? And then how quick can you go? So working a little bit on your coordination. Everyone just do a few more of whatever it is that you're doing. I know it takes me a while to walk through the variations. Okay, and relax, shake everything out again. All right, awesome. Let's just take one more rollover. So hands up overhead, taking a nice dive forward. I want you to walk your fingertips over to the left. Breathe into the right side of your ribs. Walk your fingers over to the right. Breathe into the left side of your ribs. Come back to the center, roll yourself up, and arms come down. Awesome. All right. Let's hop right into our circuit here. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and paste the circuit out, copy and paste the circuit out one more time. So hopefully everyone sees that. There's 5 exercises there. And I'm going to talk you through this. We're doing an 18-minute circuit today, 18 minutes. Remember to pace yourself for these. You can make this the easiest or the hardest circuit in the world. It's totally up to you. So first exercise is going to be a floor scrubber. You can do this one with or without weight. I'm going to be doing it with a light weight today. For my seated athletes, you're going to hold that weight into your chest. Okay? You're going to rotate to your left, and you're going to find this reach as if you were trying to hand this weight to someone in front to your left. And you're going to scrub the floor in front of you, pull it back into your chest. Reach out with that weight, scrub the floor the other direction, and pull it back in. The idea is to try to keep your back as flat as you can, okay? If that's not possible for some of you, that's okay. But as I lean forward, notice my back is staying flat the whole time as opposed to this, okay? So really trying to keep the form there. Reaching out and then in. Yeah, keep a nice smooth breath. Maybe an exhale to swoop and an inhale to pull in. Exhale to swoop, inhale to pull in. Let me get this out of the way. I want to give one more variation there. If there's anyone out there, I'm just going to give this variation because I know we have some shoulder issues. If there's seated athletes out there that want to do less shoulders, you can have your arms into your chest as you do this one so that you don't have to use your shoulders. It's really just coming more from your spine. Yeah, that's another option if this feels unrealistic for you. You can also have your hands supporting your legs, supporting you from your thighs, if that makes more sense as well. For my standing athletes, you're going to bring a lunge into this. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so you step forward with the side that you're rotating towards. So if I'm doing a floor scrubber from my right to my left, I step forward on the side that I turn to, okay? So I scrub the floor. When I pull the weight back in, I step my feet back together. I step the other leg out, dropping into my forward lunge. I scrub the floor. As I pull the weight in, I step my feet back together. If it's more realistic for you, this can also just be a step. It doesn't have to be a full lunge, okay? So you can make that step as big or as little or as lungy as you want to, depending on your balance, your strength, and all of that. And then again, you don't have to hold the weight if you feel like that's gonna throw you off. But if you are able to hold that weight, you're really going for that reach with your flat back. So focusing on all of these muscles and in between your shoulder blades as well. Okay, you're doing 16 of those total, 16 total. Oh, you know what? This always happens. The lighting changes in here and then my whiteboard vanishes. There we go. Okay. Okay, second exercise is gonna be for my seated athletes. No weights for this one. Alternating straight arms. So arms are straight, palms facing in, and I'm moving the arms up and down as quickly as I can. The goal here, two goals, to not let the body be thrown around as the arms move. So really try to keep that torso stable as your arms quickly move. Again, if that's unrealistic shoulder-wise, you can keep your elbows bent. Or perhaps you don't go quite as high. Your hands can, you can keep your hands at shoulder height instead of all the way overhead. For my standing athletes, I have you doing jumping lunges. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a couple variations here. I'm gonna go give you my side profile. So in a lunge, excuse me, you would hop out of that lunge, switch the orientation of your feet, lower down. Hop, switch, hop, switch, hop, switch. Okay, if that's unrealistic for you, you can also do a standing forward lunge, just alternating. So it will be more of a step as opposed to a jump. And again, if that is kind of unrealistic, you can also just bring that into a step forward. You could even take one foot off if you want to work more on balancing, if the lunge feels challenging for you. 30 of those on each side. Okay, so that's kind of a big number. This is kind of the focus of the circuit. So for my folks doing alternating straight arms, it will be right, left, one, right, left, two. Okay. For those of you doing lunges, same thing. Right and left counts as 1 rep. Right, left, 2 reps. And you're going for 30. Okay. Third exercise. It's going to look different for seated versus standing. You have a couple options in both. For my seated athletes, those that have grip strength and or are able to hold something out in front of them, I want you to grab your heavier weight, and you're gonna hold it out in front of you the whole time like this, okay? The tendency here is sometimes for your spine to collapse forward. I want you to stay upright, and you're gonna be lifting one arm off at a time. So that I want that weight to be heavy enough where this is possible, but it becomes challenging after a while. Yeah, so just an alternating. Where I care the most about is your torso. So your core meaning front, back, top, bottom, being your breath. Your core and your torso stay really stable as you alternate each arm off. Where am I? Here I am. Okay, if it's not realistic for you, grip strength wise, if you're unable to hold that weight with one hand, you're just gonna hold that weight with both hands, and you're gonna find a push in and out of your chest, forward and back, okay? That's your option if you're unable to take one hand off. For my standing athletes, if you are unable to get down on the floor, I'm going to use this bookshelf, but be against a sturdy wall. Holding a bookshelf, maybe this isn't a good idea. Okay, against a wall here, leaning forward, And you're doing the same thing, taking one hand off, taking the other hand off. So you're kind of in this leaned forward angled position as one arm comes off and then the other. If you are able to get down on the ground, you'll come into a plank, and keeping your feet wide will be easier. And you're doing the same thing. One hand off and the other hand off. Just alternating back and forth. You're doing 16 of those total, 16 total. Okay, fourth exercise, we're almost there, I promise, is wood chops. So let me grab, I'm doing my lighter weight. If you're able to do your heavier weight, you can do that too. So this will look really similar for seated and standing athletes. I'm going to show you seated first. So holding your weight, reach that weight up and to the left. Okay. It's a quick movement as if, so it's wood chops for a reason. This is kind of like you're chopping wood. Quick movement down and to your right. Slow movement up and to the left to reset. Quick down, slow up. Quick down, slow up. Where I'm looking for you to feel this is this whole line of muscles coming right here. So you might feel your obliques on the side that you're coming to, that you're wood chopping towards. You might feel low back a little bit. You might even feel your legs working to support you, okay? For my standing athletes, same exact movement, except when you wood chop down, you're gonna come down into a squat. Slow to reset, quick to chop down. Okay, slow reset, quick chop down. Do 8 on one side before going to 8 on the other side. Okay, so 16 total, 8 and 8. Fifth and final exercise, let's see, we don't need those. Roll downs or leg lowers. So for my seated athletes, you have a couple of options. If you're in a desk chair or something that doesn't have a back to it, you're going to be doing more of a roll down going back. So what that might look like, make sure you're in a safe position to do this, is I'm going to start to roll back behind me. My abdominals is really what's working here. And then I use my abs to pull myself back up. So it's kind of like a seated ab curl or a seated roll down going down and going back up, okay? If you do have a seat behind you, meaning that's not feasible for you, you're gonna be doing a forward roll down. So hands can either be behind your head or across your chest. And I'm gonna have you roll down low. This time, 2 classes ago, I had you aiming to touch your nose to your belly button. This time, I want you to touch your nose to your knees, okay? So you're actively using your abdominals to touch your nose to your knees. Yes, that looks really good for those of you that are doing it. So this is spinal flexion. Don't let gravity do the work for you. I want you really actively trying to physically touch your nose to your knees. Okay, so using this whole area in the front. For my standing athletes, you're going to be doing leg lowers. Again, another spinal flexion, abdominal movement here. So you're on the ground, you're in an ab curl. You have 2 options. Keeping the legs in tabletop, you can tap the feet down and up. Let me rewind. Make sure that you're in an imprint, meaning make sure that you're in as flexed of a position as you can, as much of your shoulders off the floor as you can, pushing your lower back down into the floor. It's what we call an imprint to leg lower. If you want to make it harder, the legs can be straight. It's totally up to you. You are doing 16 of those total. Okay. You've heard enough of me talk. Does anyone have any questions before we jump into that? No, okay. If you do, as you start to move through it, feel free to type into the chat box or unmute yourself. We're gonna go no music again today. So if you wanna turn your own music in the background, you can. I'm gonna be showing you the seated version for one set, then standing version, seated version, standing. So I'm just gonna be going back and forth. You have 18 minutes. Pace yourself, push yourself, listen to your body. Try not to think about what is happening today or tomorrow or this weekend. Really try to just stay with your body for these next 18 minutes here. So again, the reps are 16, 30, 16, 16, 16. Okay, so I try to make it easy for you today reps wise. Okay, here we go. Everyone, we're starting with floor scrubbers with or without a lunge. You've got 18 minutes on the clock. I'm going to start with the seated version. On your marks, get set, and go. Remember to try to remember the amount of rounds that you get through. And I'll have all of you share those at the end of class if you feel comfortable sharing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice, everyone. That looks really good. Your second exercise is fast straight arms or jumping or stepping lunges. You're going for 30 of each side. 30 of each side. Remember to keep your breath as smooth as you can. Really, the biggest thing that I care about here is not holding your breath. Everything else is better than holding your breath. Yeah, nice work, everybody. Awesome. You are 3 minutes in. 3 minutes in. Remember with the wood chops, fast to go down, slow to go up. Keep it up, everyone. Doing great. You are 5 minutes in. I'm going to show the standing version of the exercise in case anyone needs help with that. As you get possibly more fatigued here, remember to keep your form. If that means you need to take an extra break here or there, that is totally fine. Yeah, nice, Cynthia. Awesome. Victoria, I love your tree in the background. I gave a lot of lunging repetitions, didn't I? You're 7.5 minutes in. 7.5 minutes in. Good work, everybody. Good. Yeah, Ellis, make sure to keep your back as flat as you can for those ones. So if you're able to put a little bit of a bend in your knees, so you're here instead of here. I know that might be kind of challenging, but yeah, as flat as you can. Yeah. Yeah, that looks super good, everyone. You're 10 minutes in, you got 8 minutes left, you're over halfway. You can do this. Yeah. Keep it up, everybody. You're doing great. Nice work, Mindy. Remember to keep track of how many rounds you've gotten through. Mm-hmm. You have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. Pace yourself, push yourself. You got this. Yeah. Yeah, Martha, those look great. Nice. Maybe just do a check-in with your body. How is your body feeling right now? Can you make it through these last 4 minutes? I'm hoping that answer is yes. Mm-hmm. 2.5 minutes, everyone. 2.5 minutes. You're finishing this week so strong. Nice work, everybody. You have 90 seconds left. 90 seconds. You can do this. Keep it up. You're almost there. You're so close. You can see the finish line. Home stretch. "20 seconds. You've got it. Keep going. Keep going. Nice, Mindy. Nice, Ellis. Yeah, Victoria, those look good. Martha, I go in and out of seeing the beach with a shark and seeing you. It's awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All righty. Awesome, awesome work, everybody. Grab some water, take a breather. Yeah, go ahead. Nice, Mindy. Go ahead and type your rounds and reps into the chat box. So for example, Mindy got 5 full rounds plus 10 of the rollbacks down here. Awesome, nice. Well, thank you so much for sharing, everybody. I'm just gonna mute you all one more time. We will do a short cool down here and then I'll send you on your way. Leslie says, Mindy, that's extra credit. That's funny. Okay, so go ahead and make your way back to a seated or standing grounded position of some sort. Let's just do a few shoulder circle rolls. I just want you to find your breath again. Try to invite your breath back to nasal breathing, just breathing through your nose if you weren't already. Good, and then settling the shoulders down. And then finding a head and neck circle. Being mindful here to not throw the head around, just to get a gentle stretch through the sides of the neck, maybe through the back of the neck. Go and switch directions. Awesome. Good. Let's take a nice slow heavy roll, whether you're seated or standing, all the way down to the floor or as close to it as you can. Find your breath into the back of the ribs. Just stay down here for a few breaths. Take one more inhale, one more exhale. Slowly peel yourself back up. We'll bring one hand to the low belly, one hand to the low back. And then we'll close the eyes. Feel your breath in between your two hands right now. Think about making your breath so quiet that if someone were sitting next to you, they might not even be able to hear you. Feeling the weight of your body either down through your feet or down through your sit bones. I want you to think of one thing you're grateful for today. Let's take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. It's always a blast to be here. Another big, huge thank you to the Myotonic Dystrophy Foundation for sponsoring these classes. Have a lovely holidays for those of you that are celebrating the upcoming holidays or are maybe celebrating Hanukkah or something like that right now. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, happy everything. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you all soon.